Welcome to the Acushnet Historical Commission meeting, February 19th. We are running a little late, it's about 10 to 7. We're here at the Finance Committee room on the second floor. We are being recorded and videoed, audioed and videoed. Okay, under old business, the museum still has to be finished, which it didn't get finished last year. I've talked to our building inspector, and he told me that as soon as we have a good week in the spring, he will hire the lift machine so the guys can get up there and do all the upper half of the building and get it finished. Okay, we won't be calling the sheriff's department back again. Okay, also we cannot replace the wooden windows in the building for vinyl replacement windows. I was told originally that we could change them, but because we have the National Historic Register on the building, we shouldn't. We can change the storm window. The storm window can be replaced with all new storm windows, and they can be vinyl. But the interior window must stay the original wood. So we got one or two options that we can do. We could have, what's his name?
Brian Sherman.
Sherman, Mr. Sherman. Okay, we can talk to Mr. Sherman, have him come and look at the windows, and whichever ones are bad, see if he gives us a price. Then I would have to go to town meeting next year. It's already too late this year.
Is it in May 13th this year?
Yeah, but
They put the agenda.
yeah, everything's been done already.
I'll have a conversation with him, but I think we kind of missed that window with him. He'll be getting into his busy time of year again.
He's now busy?
Well, as soon as the weather breaks.
Because I was going to call him to start finishing the meeting house.
Yeah.
Because he could do a few more of those windows on the meeting house, we got the funds for it.
All right, I'll check it.
Okay.
I'll see what he has to say.
Okay, good, then let me know.
I will.
Okay. So that's the other thing, we can work on that over the summer, try to get prices for new storm windows. Okay, now, under new business. Anyone have any ideas about entertainment, yard sale, calendar? The calendar is a good fundraiser. In fact, that calendar is what Linda, my friend Linda, had talked to us about the time she came here.
Okay.
Because she does the one at the library.
Yes.
Okay, the one they're doing at the library right now is the one that Linda does. So that's something, you can choose a month. Yeah, in fact, I made a copy of it somewhere, I don't know what I did with it. Nope, I don't have it in here. Well, it's somewhere around, I'll come across it. But anyways, that is the calendar that Linda does to do the fundraisers. So that we can use the pictures for, or we can have a calendar made for 2020 for the Historical Commission, put it out there, and we can use our pictures, our old pictures. That's one that Linda does, Bob.
I remember that meeting, she actually had brought out a sample.
She did, yeah. Yeah.
What is the money for? Just the committee and to use
Well,
as they wish?
To raise it for funds, but the problem is, as a commission, we are not supposed to raise funds because we're under the town. It would have to be done under the Historical Society. The Historical Society does it, then it can be used for the museum.
She needed the meeting house with the carriage.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I went all around taking pictures of different old buildings. That's what's in the meeting house, the old organ
Yeah.
that was donated to us. It's gorgeous. It was donated to us from Mattapoisett.
It's the Mattapoisett Friends.
Yeah, yeah. He was a nice man. He delivered that to us.
His
So-
name's Hathaway.
Okay. Any other ideas for entertainment this year besides the car show?
Well,
Okay.
here we go. Okay. The Agricultural Commission I don't know if any, well, maybe Scott knows about it, but anyhow, the Antique Tractor Club has a new meeting house. Meeting place is gonna be at the Acushnet Grange. Now, what they've done is they've split the club, and the new club is gonna be what they call show tractors. In other words, what they do is they go in parades and that type of thing. They have to be, they're working to put it together because you have to be insured because of course you're in a parade. There's a lot of things that has to do with insurance. Since I'm a member of it, anyhow, and of course the Agricultural Commission does go in the parade, although we were negligent last year because everyone was vacationing. Anyhow, but this year, the tractor club can go into parades. Now my idea is, instead of stopping at the country whip, where everybody thinks the town ends, anyhow, is continue on through and go to the meeting house and have a tractor show. Now there's a lot of these tractors. And then we can have a tractor show there and the kids can come by, anybody can come by. If you open your meeting house, I'm sure we can have people stop, and I'm sure we can find people to explain the Quaker religion and
Probably
whatever they
could do
do.
1 or 2 tables inside with displays.
Yeah.
What is,
Or 1 or 2 tables inside with displays.
it would be hard to put tables inside. You might be able to put them on the porch
Out the
area.
back, yeah, there is a-
Yeah, or on the ground, on the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of course I need your permission to bring it up. They're having a meeting in March, and I have to go, I think it's March 3rd or 6th. But,
21st, you said the 3rd.
yeah, no, that's the Agricultural Commission meeting. But the Tractor Club meeting is before that.
And they have their meeting at the Grange?
Yeah, that's where they're gonna be, the new clubhouse. But I have to go, when I go to it, and they are organized, if you allow us to use the grounds of the meeting house, I can propose that they enter their parades. And I mean, they're a classy bunch.
Yeah.
But, and for them to enter it, under this new stipulation, they're all insured. They're
Okay.
individually insured. They belong to the club, but they're individually insured, so they have their own insurance, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So
And that's town property.
This one fellow in the club has got a whole big, huge trailer set up with all stationary engines, you'll make and break engines. And he's got all the attachments for, he can put a different belt on. He's got like corn grinders and water pumps, the water just goes
Yeah,
down, but all.
that's, I think it's the cranberry freewheelers, isn't it, flywheelers?
No, that's, you're thinking of cranberry flywheels. This guy's associated, it wasn't the adder, I realized they went through a little split now. The pulling club separated from the show track.
That sounds like a good
There's about
idea.
3 of them, huh?
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, okay.
About how many tractors are involved?
They got 13 in the backyard, I don't, there's quite a few of them.
Well, there's plenty of room up
Oh,
there. You got over
that
an
place
acre.
is absolutely gorgeous, I mean, you can do anything with it.
Just let it dry out a little bit, because right now it's kind of wet.
Oh, they're not gonna do it until, what they're gonna do, what we probably will do, unless they wanna do some beforehand, is do it during the apple peach. Like I said, we go in the parade anyhow, we can just continue.
Oh,
Just
really?
go up to the meeting house. And have them, and you can have a tractor show up there, or they can,
Probably, none of us would be there though, because we're all tied up with Apple Peach.
Not
no,
everybody.
they'll follow it up.
He's not at Apple Peach, he's not at Apple Peach.
No, I'm not at Apple.
That's only the society people that are at
Yeah,
Apple Peach.
Apple Peach, we'll just take it on up.
If you'd be around. If you'd be around.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
Eric,
Yes,
you would be?
yes.
What month do you think? You have no
Well, when
idea?
Apple Peach.
It's Apple Peach.
It's
Apple
Apple
Peach.
Peach in September. It's usually the, what is it, usually?
The tractors will
after
keep,
September.
the point is the tractors will keep going
Yeah,
and end up at the
meeting house,
meeting house. And I think it's a smart idea.
yeah.
No, it is, it's a great idea.
Apple Peach is 7th and 8th
Oh,
of September.
I mean, we're trying to promote the meeting house
We
as
need to
being
promote
an
it.
asset for the town, and that's one way to do it.
Yep.
I don't think you need to think of it as a money-making thing, because that's not necessarily
Yeah,
what our job is. Our job isn't to be making money all the time. Our job is to promote
The local
local-
historical things, right.
parts of the town that are,
And on that
Historic.
scale, the agricultural, I'll stay in, if you wanna open, some Sundays or couples for whatever, you've gotta open these doggone things, or else, you're not, everybody's gonna not even know what they are. You know.
trying to get the people to do is what's very
Right,
hard.
I'll volunteer.
Yeah, I volunteered one Sunday a month, so
Yeah.
there's already two.
Yeah,
so-
Maria will,
Okay.
Nancy Gray will volunteer for the schoolhouse. So, I mean, if you wanna open them up, we're ready to go.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is, cause usually we'll start, depending on the weather, how April is. Yeah, cause sometimes April can be pretty tricky.
Well,
Yeah.
be careful now, the Grange is gonna have their agricultural show again.
Ag Day.
And, yeah, and so, actually, I think we ought to get a witch to predict the weather or something.
When do you have that?
Well, we're gonna move it last year, we just did it too early last year.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
gonna
cold.
go ahead.
So I don't know what Caroline's thinking right now. For
Yeah,
days.
she's having a meeting next Thursday,
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
But I do know it'll be later.
Hmm?
I know that,
Oh, it's gotta be,
Yeah.
oh my God, we
What,
hope
what month did you do it last year?
April was.
yeah,
April? April is a tricky month.
May is the best.
May, yeah, May is better.
So, she's gonna have that, so that's one thing.
Okay, so she's got a meeting coming up
This coming Thursday at 7 o'clock if you wanna go.
this week?
No,
Coming up
next week.
next week.
Next week, next Thursday. It's 7 o'clock.
I'm on vacation this week. Next week I'm back to work. I'm up at 5.
Well, it's up to you. You all can pick up.
Grange, 7 o'clock Thursday.
Yep.
27th, I think. I don't have
Yeah,
my
it's-
information.
The 27th, 28th,
28th, yeah.
Thursday.
It's not a leap year.
Thursday's a Friday.
Hmm?
Is it Thursday, Friday?
The 19th, Thursday. Grange. What time, 7?
7, yeah. And it's heated.
Yeah, that building is heated. I've had more problems this year with the museum with heat. Oh my God, that building is driving me crazy. Really. Okay, so that meeting would be on Thursday. Okay, what we're gonna do is, next month already is March. We'll try to see if I can get a schedule put together where we can pinpoint dates and,
Yeah, for opening the thing and let us
Yeah.
know. And
yep,
I mean, they're just gonna go over the other street. That's not a big deal.
yeah, yeah. See,
Because
the
I
meeting-
don't know, you did that car show last year and.
We never got it done
I
last year.
know,
We got rained
it's
out.
too bad. Who did the lawn up there? It was beautiful.
The lawn is done by the town.
I
They,
gotta say, it was gorgeous, it really was.
they hired, well, 2 ladies they hired to cut all the grass in town. One of them is already left, so one is still doing it, Ann Marshall,
Oh, okay.
okay? So she got hired through the town DPW, and she does the lawn at the meeting house, and the museum, and the church. Plus the old library she's doing. Yep, they do a lot
Oh,
of
they're
buildings.
doing all, that means we have to get the library.
The library too, yeah.
The
they do
library
all.
is having a Meet Your Farmer Day on May 6th. So, the nephews are bringing down 2 tractors to put on the front lawn.
May 6th?
May 6th is Meet Your Local Farmer Day at the library.
It's usually what, 5 o'clock? At 5?
Yeah, 5 to 7, I think it is. So the boys are gonna bring in a couple of tractors and put them on the front lawn so they can pay a tractor.
You're as busy as I am.
Yeah, plus I work 40 hours a week.
Yeah, yeah, I'm up to 31 hours a week. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Anyhow, but, so that's what they're gonna do, that's little of the things going on.
But that tractor thing sounds very interesting for the meeting house.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be a great time.
Because We've had car shows there before. I've actually had an antique car show at the museum.
Mm.
And I believe when Alan Katina was still here, we had a Corvette club
Yes.
do the car show at the meeting house. I ought to get in touch with Alan and see if he's still in it, because those cars are beautiful.
Yeah, they're a big deal.
Oh my God, they come from way down the Cape,
Oh, yeah.
so you know
come from
they
everywhere.
big bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Big bucks. Okay, all right. Well, those are some ideas, and maybe the calendar we could do for 2020. We'll look into it
Okay.
later this year.
I found another calendar for you.
You did.
If you wanted to do it outside, it looks like this. It's at Walgreens. Similar to what you have right there.
Oh yeah.
You got any ideas?
You don't have any prices on these.
No, but.
I want to see like $19, if I can get that, I'll get that.
Open that up.
Mm.
See where we can get them on the
You
maybe
can
most
have- You can
reasonable.
either have a single picture or you can have
Yeah.
multiple pictures.
3 pictures, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
What about Staples? Do they do it
I
too?
never gone there to do that, but I can find out.
I go to
I thought you
Staples
could do it
every
in-house.
week.
I thought you could do it in-house.
I know he's
You
got
use a ton of big
Oh. All
color, the color.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Staples.
Yeah, we do a lot through with Staples.
With Staples. Okay. So, anyone thinking about maybe a yard sale this spring? No?
Did that once, how much did we make? 2 years ago.
Not much.
Mm.
Yeah, you make, what is it, $25 each table?
Oh, by the way, while we're at it, what are they gonna do with the apple peach now? Is Fortin gonna run it over there near your museum, or?
He still runs it at the museum.
I thought he wasn't gonna do it this year.
He says that every year.
We haven't.
Every year he tells me he's not gonna do it.
Yeah, they
I was
lost
talking-
that parking across from the whip, but, you know,
Yeah.
the shuttles work fine.
Yeah.
And they were doing fine with this.
Well, here, Keith
Yeah,
opens
exactly.
up his big parking lot anyhow, for nothing, so you might wanna save on your shuttle.
Yeah.
I'd ask him if he's gonna open it again this year, why bother with your shuttle?
I was talking with Sue downstairs today about Apple Peach. She didn't say nothing about Tom. So I'm assuming that he's still going forward.
Well,
Why-
fingers crossed he will. It's a good tradition.
He's like the weather, up and down. One day he's gonna do it, the next day he's not. He's too tired. Okay. All right, so a yard
How
sale
does
out
that
for this
work
year?
anyhow? Who makes the money, or why is it for, or what is the?
He claims that they do scholarships with the money that they make.
Okay.
But according to what I'm told, they don't make a lot of money.
Mm.
I guess between paying for the bands and all that stuff. They don't give us anything at the museum. They don't even give us a donation.
Well, it's still a good draw for the town, though. It brings a lot of people in.
It brings a lot of people in, it brings a lot of people into the museum.
But it's
But you would
tradition
think,
anyways.
he uses our bathrooms. They use our bathrooms, and yet they never give us a donation, never ever. You know, which is too bad in a way. So,
Or you could close them down, I suppose.
I don't know if I'd want to stay around for the music.
Why not try to?
I don't know if I'd want to stay around for the
You're
music.
just gonna have to use the Methodist.
Oh, God. Okay, I was going to ask for some help tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to get my help. These two piles right here are all historic properties that I've dug out of the computer between Main Street, Leonard Street,
Can I interject?
yeah,
Don't look at me like that. This is a list of the historic buildings supposedly that have been inventoried,
yeah,
okay?
but they don't have plaques.
I don't care about plaques, that's not the
Well,
point.
that's what I'm working on. I've got this one.
I know you do,
Oh, thank you.
okay? And this is a list of buildings that they recommend that needs to be inventoried. Remember you asked me about it, the list
Yeah,
of
I've got
buildings?
this at home too.
You should have this at home, because I got it from you, I think.
These are key,
Now, the trick is, I've got the book that supposedly has the inventory houses in it, and you got one too, Pauline, because I copied this from your book, okay?
I've got the book.
Okay, so the list of buildings that have been inventoried is 79 on that list. 30 of them are not on this, in this book.
30 of them are what?
30 houses on this list that has supposedly been inventoried are not in the book. The Shockley house was one of them. Remember you tried looking that up? The nun's place?
Yeah,
That's one of them. Rick Jansen's house is another one.
Shockley's house, we've got the plaque from it. That
Yeah, I
is
know, but it's
Reynolds
not,
Club.
but we don't have the sheet. We don't have
I probably have it in the
Now-
big book, right,
Let me finish.
'cause I got it.
Now, from the list of candidates that need to be researched, 30 of those are in this book. So there's 69 or so in here, but the lists don't agree. So what I don't know is, these 30 that are supposed to be in this book, if they're somewhere.
I've got a book home this thick with all the inventoried houses.
But Shockley isn't in there, because he told me it wasn't.
May not be in that. I'd have to look again. But Joyce is the one that got us the plaque that was on the house.
Yeah.
She salvaged it.
So the book that you supposedly have
Yep.
is the one that I copied here.
How come it's so thin?
I
This
don't know.
book is like 5 inches thick.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe the rest of, well, then I need to see that, so that I can copy those and check it against this list to make sure that we don't have to do them again.
Most of the
Because to
have that.
research these houses is very, very involved. You know, you gotta go to the town hall and you get the book and page and all that. You have to have a sketch, a photo of the house, sketch of the property. You gotta write up some nomenclature describing the house, the type of siding that's on it. There's a lot of things that go into it. And then you gotta go to the registry of deeds and research it back as far as you can go. And that doesn't always tell you when the house was put on. They said sometimes you have to, in order to find out when the house was there, you need to go to adjacent deeds. And because then when the abutters, sometimes in their deeds, they'll mention
Your property.
your property. So there's a lot of work
It is a lot of work.
to doing these things. And you gotta do it systematically, and that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna go around and start taking the pictures of the missing houses and the rest of them that are on this list as a start, and get the book and page as a start.
You can get that right out of the computer.
Yeah.
Right,
See?
right.
The assessor's office
And
will have
the book and page is right here. So you, from that one there, you can go into the registry and it'll lead you back to the next oldest one.
Yeah,
further down
right,
the
you
line.
keep going back.
Yeah. Now see, with the D Terrace property on Leonard Street, she had a lot of old deeds. She got a lot of old deeds from Roberta Leonard, because that was all in the family.
But you still gotta go to the registry, because you don't know. You're not
But I
doing-
didn't go to the registry on this one only because we went back as 1841 with that house. And the one next to it, the one that's, was it 193?
190.
The other one, 193, or 203?
There's 193.
Ah, son of a...
Which street is it?
His, Leonard,
Let us
Leonard
see.
Street.
his house goes back 1865.
Yeah, it was Westgate when I was a kid. Avenue.
What was the name of the single lady that owned one that is?
Miss Moss. Miss Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Moss.
right here, 209 Leonard Street. Ebenezer Leonard,
Oh,
1865.
Oh, you run it to.
That's at the river.
Huh?
That's the house at the river, it's back east.
The big one, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, look at
There's a
this
lot of
one.
homes in there I've been, I've often wondered about, you know, like the Morrison place up on the hill.
Oh, yeah, that was, I picked that one up this week as an oldie.
No, I just read in the paper that Westport is gonna be doing it, right? They got a grant. That's how this was done. This was done before.
He didn't do it completely though. You know, they let him get away with it.
What do you mean?
That was not done completely. Not every house should be on that list, it's not up there.
I don't understand.
When he was around town doing the pictures and what we've got there, all the pictures with all the information filled out, he didn't cover every one of the old homes.
Correct.
He didn't cover them all.
Right.
But he got paid for
There's
it.
almost 200.
He got paid for that. That was through a grant. I remember Erwin Mark
well,
saying that.
No, he probably didn't get paid to do all 200 houses.
He got paid to
He
do
got
it.
paid to inventory, and depending on how much time he spends on each house, he uses up his time. So, you know, you don't get paid to do every house in
Nothing to
town.
do with the resources. he
I
has.
talked-
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I talked to Joyce about that one time, and she said he got paid to do the inventory. We had gotten a grant to do it, but not everything was done. I don't
And they
know, I
would-
wasn't involved then.
And the other thing is when you look at these and you can see, because they signed the ones that they, you know, whoever did it signed it.
Yep,
And they're at different times. In other words, some of these were done in 98, some of them were done in 2001. You know what I mean? So they're probably not working off the same grant. So I think what we need to do is we need to go down into the files here.
I won't even attempt it now, I'll
And-
tell you why, it's a mess.
You ask for a really kick up to go in this stuff.
Well, no,
But it's
he's
gotta be
okay.
done. I
He's
mean,
okay.
the thing is, we
I
sit up
realize
here,
that. You're
and,
absolutely right.
you know, there's files down there, they either need to be reorganized by the secretary or whatever. Mr. Secretary.
I tried to find out last week if they're gonna, all our files are gonna get moved over to the new
Yeah, that's
building.
fine.
This is what I was told. The new addition that they put on is not gonna be large enough to cover everything that's down cellar. So, as the commission, our files may stay here. I have to go over and talk to Pam, find out what's gonna be the story, because I asked the same question, to go through, sort through, because that big book that I've got, the 5-inch book, I took that out of there with Joyce. And that's been in my house ever since. I got a file cabinet full, you know? And now I'm going through all this stuff here. I've got so much paperwork, it's crazy.
Well, if you got that book, I need to check it against this book.
Because you're missing something.
That's a pain.
Do you
Well,
recognize
I'm
do you
missing-
recognize this house
I'm
on,
missing 30 that I know
Main
of,
Street
you know?
near
This is
your
4 inches too.
Leonard Street?
Yeah, I do, it's for sale right now. That's the old Parker House. And it's right at the corner.
But there's 79 in here. Doesn't look it, but there's
Oh yeah,
79.
that's housing for sale.
This is right, it's for sale now. It's
Plus,
right- It's right at the end
Because the
of
cemeteries are in here and the town buildings, which I didn't
What is this one?
No.
What's the?
put on, you know, I didn't put it on my to-do list.
She's a little further up from Leonard Street. She drives a school bus, response school bus, it's always in.
Oh, okay.
Because I was
I
told
thought
that
that
was,
was the little house right at the end of Leonard Street.
no, oh, I know which one you
Looking
got,
for
this
Main.
one.
This is our.
This
This
one,
was the street, that's a driveway.
Oh,
that
Should
one,
be, yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
okay?
Yeah,
That
you're
one there, I got a call one time from this lady who told me years ago that was a rest home nursing home,
Oh my goodness.
okay? And I've got a name of Pauline Prevention.
What was it, 1157? That's what it
Yeah,
was.
it used to be at the
1052
Christian
Main
hospital down there.
It's not on there.
Hot cases.
Used to be.
Yeah, used to be a hospital.
When did they leave?
Next door.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then they-
I was born in that hospital.
Yeah, The only thing left of it, I
52
think,
is
is
the
that
one.
one.
It was a nursing home, look, Restaurant Nursing Home,
Where's that?
run by a family by the name of McCormick.
You know where Pop Cases
And
is?
she gave me a date around 1941
Apartment building next door.
Refresh my memory on that one.
on that one because
It's at two places.
the lady that called me lives in
Have to go-
Freetown.
Yeah.
That's one thing is you need to check to see if it is
What
one.
was the doctor in that hospital? He lived
I'm not
there.
there, hold
He
on.
was up there in Kilo or something, God, he used to
Kilo.
come visit my
And this is the
grandmother
big house
every
next to
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 1050 on
By
there.
the town.
Yeah, that's what she's doing now.
This is the other one right here,
That house, like the house,
1050.
doesn't say anything.
Oh yeah, house on hill. Yeah,
1050, 1050's in here.
I know-
Yeah,
I know- I know
50's in
it is
here.
now.
it's,
I know where it is.
I think, right next door to this one.
Yep, yep.
They're next door to each other. And this little baby is across the street.
That was Tavares' house.
Which one, this,
This one. That
Tavares?
was Arthur Bulliard, that one.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Arthur Bulliard.
But they're calling them old style, and yet they're giving them a date of 1940. So what you need to do is you need to go through the old deeds to see how far back it actually goes. But this one I was told was a nursing home,
Stored the age.
and,
I'm sorry.
Shouldn't the house be stored for
I know I'm sure there's some back in the back of the houses, I know the family.
I saw some of the pictures and the vinyl siding.
No, they should be, if they're gonna go on.
see, like this one,
They
get
right,
people-
they should.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's gotta be researched anyway, no matter what, you can't go by what people tell you.
no, you gotta see the
Well, they could
deeds.
very well have, some of that paperwork right there, if they're interested.
Well,
If they're interested in putting a plaque.
Existing list.
Oh, there's a G issue.
368 Middle Road.
Like,
That building's gone. Just
like
tore it
this
down.
one. Uh,
368 Middle Road, they just.
Tripp's
tore it down.
house,
They built the house there.
1164.
It's right across from, Country.
I heard about
Yep.
mine.
1160 and 1164.
That old
Shows
church
two
that
houses,
was
one's
on
a
Middle
Cape,
Road, the one
It's
they
gone.
took. Yeah,
And
they
yeah.
took that down.
and look
Yeah.
at this house. This is the, it looks like a
Now,
two-family.
what kind
Old
of church
style.
was that?
Year built,
It says here,
1843.
Second Adventist.
So this is the type of house we.
You can't go by that.
That's what it says, yeah.
I know, Bob,
Second
but
Adventist
this gives you a
Society
start to
of
go to
Haven.
talk to the people.
Yeah.
What are the kind of,
Yeah, I saw that a minute ago.
You gotta document
That's on the
everything.
next page.
They may have the old deeds, Natalie may have the old deeds to that.
I mean, the deed on my house, or the town, it says it was built in 1865, and that wasn't.
No, nobody knows
No.
it.
It was burned down.
Second Adventist of I should ask Peter about it, she knows that stuff. They went from there, I think, over to Acushnet Avenue, but that
Oh,
was.
I found so many on Main Street. This is the old style, they given it around 1900, Country Whip's house, the two-family.
Oh, Mrs. Jarvis old time?
Yep,
So you're trying to research these for a plaque list?
this is all
Have they
for,
asked for the plaques?
no. You've gotta go talk to them and see if they're interested in putting a plaque. This is how I got Mrs. DeTerra.
My point is when they're interested in putting a plaque, that's when you research it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Should be
they're not gonna
researching
come to
them
you.
before.
They're not coming to you. They're not gonna come to you.
So
Like this is, the big farm there, Silverbrook, 1870 circa.
Well, that's all that.
Suppose you had something where you created a flyer and you mailed it to each and every one of those buildings, to those owners. That would be the initial step with them and the town.
Or show them on camera that we're doing
Yeah. That might
the
be-
plaques. In fact, I brought one of the
How much
pictures.
are the plaques, they have to pay for a plaque, don't they?
Oh yeah, the plaques are $50.
Oh.
And they're made out of very hard plastic, okay? And it's got the Acushnet emblem, it says Acushnet Historical Commission, and then it'll have the builder, whoever built the home, and the circa, the
The
year.
builder or the first owner,
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be the builder.
Yeah.
Or a prominent owner, doesn't have to be the first one either.
That was a job to get that. Come on, nice one.
Are they made out
Oh,
of?
yeah.
Because some famous people moved into houses.
maybe we could get this on camera before we
Yeah.
close the meeting? Let people know that we are doing, if anybody is interested in getting a plaque on their home that's 100 years or older. Give us
None of
a
the
call.
houses on this list are built after 1900. Except for a couple of exceptions, because they were unique.
You got
So
some-
between 1900 and 1920, we're not researching any of those,
Oh,
I got it.
you got it?
unless somebody wants a plaque on it, then you can research it. But we're not gonna spend money researching these things, you know, because there's so many houses between 1900 and 1920 in this town.
Yeah, but you don't want the 1900, 1900. You want 1600, 1700?
You only have
1800?
the one in 1904, other than that.
Yeah.
1904, it's already over 100 years old, you know? It all depends. Some people want them, some people don't want them. I've got one home right now from Middle Road that was made by Irwin Marks. He gave it to me. I still got it home because the people, after the sign was made, the people refused it. They didn't want it on the house.
Oh.
So I've got the sign at home. One of these days I'm going to take a chance and go up, knock on the door, because there's a new family living there. They may be, who is it?
They're probably
You know. Okay, it's on?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. Just a reminder for everyone out there in TV land, we are still doing the plaques for the houses in Acushnet that are 100 years or older. The plaques are beautifully made. They're made of a hard plastic. We have the original owner or builder of the property with this circa date of the year that it was built. Anyone that is interested in having a plaque on their home, we can do some research along with your help with any old deeds or information that you might have, and we can have a sign ordered. The charge is $50 for the sign. We ask the owner of the property to pay for the sign, and then we have it made. Okay, anyone interested, you can call the Selectman's office at 508-99-80200 and ask for to leave a message with the Historical Commission. And they'll take your name and your number, and they will let us know whoever's interested.
The person has to apply for it,
Thank you very much.
you know, and this is the guidance. And how to inventory the house.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
There's no old houses on Quaker Lane. I didn't see them.
Quaker Lane, I found, I think, 2.
Yeah.
Just two.
Yeah, there used to be two
Last
old,
page.
There's one.
Mrs. Jaget's old house, she used to be the cemetery custodian.
Yeah, Alfred Davis.
62 and 203.
Oh, okay.
Mrs.
Oh, yeah.
Jaget's house was on the right-hand side, and then there's another old house just beyond it on the left-hand side.
Oh, and while we're at it, does anyone recognize this house? This was in that inventory book, blank. So nobody ever determined whether it was in Acushnet or in Rochester or where. I even went to the town clerk and had her look it over. Wasn't, you know, it didn't look familiar or anything to
There's
her.
there's a couple of pictures, there's a couple here. too.
This house?
No, well, no information, just a picture of the house.
That stone wall is good.
Does anyone remember the Vincent property on
Yeah,
Main
that's
Street
torn
across
down.
from Brickwell?
Yeah.
That's torn down. They gave part of the land to the niece, part to the nephew. The other house hasn't been,
So,
This wasn't a church at one time.
it looks more like just a house.
Schoolhouse or something like that. Just how it is. It's situated. It's got the two chimneys like the church on, you know.
Look at Morse's Lane now, for instance. This house here, number 16, 1725, that has a plaque on it. So that must have been done by Irwin.
Was that
Okay.
where Aunt Whistle's sister lived at one time?
Oh, I don't know.
On Morris's Lane? It's an old house. It's a couple
Yeah,
of years
and 28 Morse's Lane is $16.99.
Wow.
old. Wow.
28 Morse's Lane, now they don't have a plaque.
16.
That Vincent found, there was a woman, she was in her 80s, and Sarah Solis.
Yeah, they sold it.
Me and the lady had gone and done a little work there, cleaning up for her. But the front door key for that house was about
Skeleton
that
key?
big.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that house had a plaque on it, and I forget the date, but it was way back.
Really?
The pine floor, some of those boards were 20,
Right.
22 inches wide, yeah.
I live
And there's one here, you know Jerry Rooney from Fairhaven? His wife is Ayako? Yeah, 1750, their house on Morse's Lane. And there's another one, it's number 60. Then maybe that's her, Amber Trust.
quite a few.
1750
houses on
Colonial.
Morris's Lane.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of, once you get into the computer, it's like,
Yeah, but none of these have to do.
But you can't go by
No,
the
they
dates.
don't, no.
now this is the one. I'm pretty sure it's got the plaque on it. I think it's this one. The plaque's on the front door.
Where's Queen Anne Cemetery?
But it's a house now.
Is it?
Gibson Memorial is private property. In fact, I was wondering, what do they do with the cemetery,
It's gotta be still used.
you know?
But what number is that? Because that's next door to the,
It's in here.
The
somewhere.
old-
It's the six they tore down,
The
right?
old Ad, yeah.
that's next to the
old
church, and they tore down the Second Adventist. But you don't have that on the inventory.
$358. And this is supposed to be the list of the houses that are actually inventoried by street. And it does match up to this sheet here, with this 30 missing. So they checked all these houses off, but we don't have sheets, or at least I don't have a copy of the sheet. Maybe Pauline does, I don't know. I got another thing to talk about. Have you ever heard of the second half? I never did either. It's a organization in Fall River, they have a building, a big building. And it's supposed to be the second half of your life. And it's a perpetual learning center.
Oh,
And they have a lot of historical talks, they do all kinds of things. If you look it up on the internet, the second half in Fall River, very interesting. I got a call from them, I got a call from them last year, but I didn't talk to them too much about it, but they called me and they want me to give a lecture on Laura Keene.
Oh, that's right, you told me about that.
And so I think I'm gonna do it, it'll be in the
know
fall.
where Laura Keene is.
They give you a 2-hour window,
Coming to town.
so I gotta talk slow.
Left-hand side.
And so I'll have to come up with some kind of a presentation, and probably for about an hour, and then they have a question and answer thing. And in addition to that, I got a call from somebody from the Whaling Museum. As you probably know, the Whaling Museum is looking at women, historical New Bedford women, and they've had a significant impact on the growth of New Bedford. And they are expanding that into like Mrs. Tabor from Tabor Academy and that, you know, the neighborhood towns. And I met with the lady and she interviewed me because I had written past articles on Laura Keene before, to ask about Laura Keene. And I did meet with her, and we talked for quite a while. And she was the one who was writing up the sort of bio for Laura Keene, for the Whaling Museum. And little did I know that she had already written it. So after I had met with her, I looked it up and then I found there's a few errors in it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is there's left out what I would consider significant parts of Laura Keene's life. So now I have to get in contact with her and see if this thing can be adjusted, whatnot. Because I think there's a lot more that needs to be said about Laura Keene. One of the minor things that they said is, they mentioned Laura Keene Street. There's no Laura Keene Street, it's Laura Keene Avenue. And the other thing that they did is they mentioned about Laura Keene's daughter who used to sing at one of the churches, and they said St. Mary's of Fairhaven. St. Mary's of Fairhaven wasn't established until
I was going to say.
And I looked into one of the cited works, because I have copies of Laura Keene's biographies, and it does say St. Mary's, New Bedford, but that's in error as well. And I found out that it's actually should be St. Lawrence Church in New Bedford. So anyway, I just thought that would be
Oh, that'd be
interesting.
good.
But, you know, anybody's interested in history or whatever, this second half seems to be a significant resource.
The Idaho River.
Hmm?
Idaho River.
Yeah.
Seems like I just heard something about second half, and I'm trying to remember if I saw it on Facebook. Something, I just can't remember where.
You think of the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl was gone.
Second half.
Okay,
So anyway, when I write up this lecture, I'll probably give it to the Historical Society first as a practice session.
Oh, that'll be
yeah,
good.
because you did it once before.
Yeah, I did a little thing.
Yeah, and we enjoyed it,
This will be more.
yeah.
One additional picture to add to that list, I gave you the original post office down by River's End, the black and white picture, post office. You forgot.
Green is dead. The original post office. Oh, yes, wait a minute, I got that in my book at home.
Yes, you could add that.
Yes,
to it,
yes,
too.
I remember going to that post office.
Yeah.
That was the post office when I first moved to town.
Wow.
Do you ever go on Facebook?
No.
If you went on
I don't
Facebook,
There was a great
Facebook, go
store
under
across the street.
Town of Acushnet,
I don't
Type it in.
remember that. I
Yeah,
remember
or
going to the post
Acushnet,
office.
yeah.
Acushnet Online. Wait a minute, Acushnet Online. And there's Acushnet yard sales. There's 3 of them.
Huh?
If you go on that, you're gonna find people are putting old pictures.
Oh, great. Okay.
Oh, I've got books. I'm making books. Acushnet, Dartmouth, Fairhaven, Freetown, all
Oh, you
over.
mean
I'm making books of these old houses, Fairhaven, all over. You wouldn't believe the beautiful pictures.
Yeah,
And I
because
just, well, that's why I say ink is costly, because it's all color, most of it's color.
There's a bridge under that road.
If you go on
I'll look at
Facebook
it.
and type it in,
My wife does that.
yeah. I'm doing more of this, it's more inventory now, making copies of pictures, because some of the old properties are beautiful. In fact, I pulled out some tonight while I was in between supper and coming here of Dartmouth. A fellow that grew up in Dartmouth, and oh, what a collection of pictures he's got. Smith Mills. I lived in Dartmouth for about 10 years. We moved there when I was about 11, and I was there till I was about 21, 22, and came back to Acushnet. So he had loads of pictures of Dartmouth, Paynerum, all different areas, old farms. Oh my gosh, I was going crazy copying them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Acushnet had some old farms.
Oh, yeah.
Good guy.
Got a lot of, a nice collection.
That's true.
So when's the next meeting?
Next meeting, March 12th. God willing, no snow.
You're gonna have to get someone to take my place.
Well, maybe Robbie won't be babysitting by then.
Now, you're talking about historical buildings. Where are we with the demolishing of the Wheeling Captain's home at St. Francis School Park?
Well, I have a letter, the last letter I had gotten from them. I think this was given to me by the town, by the building inspector. Well, I'm not gonna find it now. It is coming down. There's nothing they can do about it, because they claim it's a danger to the children. They've had windows fall out.
Or which one is it?
The nun's place.
Nuns home over here at St. Francis, next to the school.
Next to
You're
the school.
kidding.
It's coming down.
It
Question
was
for you.
30.
A question for you, too, that I forgot to bring up. The one right on the street bridge.
Yeah, I didn't think it was in danger.
Oh, here it is. Russell Memorial Library.
Yes.
I think it's gonna be discussed at town meeting. So if you guys are interested, I would suggest being there. Ryan showed me a plan downstairs, he had it out on the table, because they're trying to make, they got the veterans trying to expand it, to make, it's gonna be studio apartments. I believe he told me the plan that they've got, they're gonna put an extension on either side of the building. Yeah. And it's gonna have 31 rooms.
Holy cow.
I couldn't believe it. I said, 31 rooms, where? They
Where?
said, don't forget, they're studios. So that means only one little room.
Oh, come on, why don't they use it? Why
It's
don't
for
they
the
use it to
veterans.
put your records in, for heaven's sakes?
Yeah, but it's gonna be for the veterans.
Veterans,
Veterans that are homeless.
poor little veterans are gonna feel like they're in a cell, for heaven's sake.
Better than living on the street.
You know,
You wouldn't believe the veterans living on the street. You know the veteran transition house downtown?
yeah.
They've moved them out of there because they were rehabbing that building. And they're living down on the church, the one that they closed, the Borchke Church, at the end of Allen
St.
Street.
John.
St. John. They're living in the rectory.
Yeah.
The
Do we
veterans
have
have been moved over there.
Can we end the meeting?
We haven't ended it. You in a hurry?
No.
Okay, so I did want to mention about Russell Memorial because Brian did tell me if it gets approved at town meeting, he will be coming to the commission for us all to sign off on it. So it's something we gotta think about. I said, suppose we don't. He said, well, so you're gonna have to, if it gets approved, it'll take 31
Well, you
veterans.
could say you could get funding for your
Street.
church on Perry Hill if you're saying.
Did we come up with a plan for the time capsule?
Blackmail, one day.
Time capsule?
It's still there, yeah.
It's still there.
I talked to Brian about it, I said, is there any chance to be, for it to be moved? And he said, we'll have to talk about it a little further, because the building inspector doesn't seem to know a whole lot about it. But it's near the Veterans Monument, right?
No. Right in the middle, in the front, I believe.
It's not in the front of the monument?
No, you know, that's semicircle.
Mm.
It's right in the front of that, I believe.
All right, well, we'll
I
have
was
to,
there when they put it in, but,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, 'cause
maybe it's
I did mention that
a
to
bit
him
sketchy,
too.
but it's not in front of the memorial.
Well, what if we could either move it down to Pope's Park, if that would be appropriate, or move it
No,
to
I mean,
It's going to
maybe
the
it's not in the way
Veterans
where it is.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
it's gonna go to the Veterans Park.
That would
That's
be
what they were
fine.
talking about,
That would be fine.
yeah. Okay, motion to adjourn,
Motion?
second,
Eric, yes.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are.